Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Chapter 11, The Master at Kosapur, page 488, Tuesday, April 13th, 1886. Sri Ramakrishna was seated with the devotees. A crazy woman had been troubling everybody in order to see the Master. She had assumed toward him the attitude of a lover, and often ran into the garden house and burst into the Master's room. She had even been beaten by the devotees, but that did not stop her. "Sashi, if she comes again, I shall shove her out of the place." Master, tenderly, "No, let her come and go away." Rakal, "At the beginning, I too used to feel jealous of others when they visited the Master, but he graciously revealed to me that my Guru is also the Guru of the universe. Has he taken this birth only for a few of us?" Sashi, "I don't mean that, but why should she trouble him when he is ill, and she is such a nuisance?" Rakal, "We all give him trouble. Did we all come to him after attaining perfection? Haven't we caused him suffering? How Narendra and some of the others behaved in the beginning? How they argued with him?" Sashi, "Whatever Narendra expressed in words, he carried out in his actions." Rakal, "How rude Dr. Sarkar has been to him. No one is guiltless, if it comes to that." Master, to Rakal tenderly, "Will you eat something?" Rakal, "Not now, later on." Ramakrishna asked M, by a sign, whether he was going to have his meal there. Rakal to M, "Please take your meal here. He is asking you to." Sri Ramakrishna was seated on his bed. He looked like a 5-year-old boy. Just then the crazy woman climbed the stairs and stood near the door. M, in a low voice to Sashi, "Ask her to salute him and go away. Don't make any fuss." Sashi took her downstairs. It was the first day of the Bengali year. Many women devotees arrived. They saluted Sri Ramakrishna and the Holy Mother. Among them were the wives of Balaram and Mahumoham, and the Brahmani of Bagbazar. Several of them had brought their children along. Some of the women offered flowers at the Master's feet. 2 young girls, 9 or 10 years of age, sang a few songs. It was afternoon. M and a few other devotees were seated near the Master. Narendra came in. He looked, as the Master used to say, like an unsheathed sword. Narendra sat down near the Master and within his hearing expressed his utter annoyance with women. He told the devotees what an obstacle women were in the path of God realization. Sri Ramakrishna made no response. He listened to Narendra. Narendra said again, "I want peace. I do not care even for God." Sri Ramakrishna looked at him intently without uttering a word. Now and then Narendra chanted, "Brahman is truth, knowledge the infinite." Friday, April 16th, 1886. The moon was shining brilliantly, flooding the garden paths, the trees, and the water of the lake with its white rays. Girish, M, Latu, and a few other devotees were seated on the steps leading to the lake. The house stood to the west of the lake. A lamp burnt in the Master's room on the 2nd floor. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on his bed. There were several devotees in the room. That evening, Narendra, Kali, and Tarak had gone to Dakshineswar. They intended to spend the night in the Panchavati, meditating on God. Girish, Latu, and M went to Sri Ramakrishna's room. Sashi and 1 or 2 devotees had been attending on the Master. Baburam, Niranjan, and Rakal also entered the room. It was a large room. Some medicines and a few other accessories were kept near the bed. One entered the room by a door at the north end. Since Sri Ramakrishna had to be tended all night, the devotees stayed awake by turns. The devotee who tended him fixed Sri Ramakrishna's mosquito net and then either lay on a mat on the floor or spent the night sitting up. Since Sri Ramakrishna got very little sleep on account of his illness, his attendant, too, slept very little. That evening, Sri Ramakrishna was somewhat better. The devotees saluted the master and sat down on the floor. The master asked M to bring the lamp near him. He greeted Girish cordially. Master to Girish, "Are you quite well?" To Latu, "Prepare a smoke for him and give him a betel leaf." A few minutes afterwards, he asked Latu to give Girish some refreshments. Latu said that they had been sent for. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting up. A devotee offered him some garlands of flowers. Sri Ramakrishna put them around his neck, one by one. The devotees looked at him wonderingly. He took 2 garlands from his neck and gave them to Girish. Every now and then Sri Ramakrishna asked whether the refreshments had been brought. M was fanning the master. On the bed was a sandalwood fan, the offering of a devotee. The master gave it to M, who continued to fan him with it. He also gave M 2 garlands. M had lost a son aged 7 or 8, about a year and a half before. The child had seen the master many a time. Latu was telling Sri Ramakrishna about M. Latu, M wept bitterly last night at the sight of some books that had belonged to his dead child. His wife is almost mad with grief. She sometimes treats her other children violently. She makes scenes at home because he spends the night here now and then. Sri Ramakrishna seemed worried to hear of this. Girish, it is nothing to be wondered at. Even after receiving the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna fainted from grief at the death of his son Abhimanyu. Girish was given the refreshments on a tray. Sri Ramakrishna took a grain and Girish accepted the rest as prasad. He sat in front of the master and began to eat. He needed water to drink. There was an earthen jug in the southeast corner of the room. It was the month of April, and the day was hot. Sri Ramakrishna said, "There is some nice water here." The master was so ill that he had not enough strength even to stand up. And what did the disciples see to their utter amazement? They saw him leave the bed, completely naked, and move toward the jug. He himself was going to pour the water into a tumbler. The devotees were almost frozen with fear. The master filled the tumbler. He poured a drop or 2 into his hands to see whether it was cool. He found that it was not very cool, but since nothing better could be found, he reluctantly gave it to Girish. Girish was eating the sweets. The devotees were sitting about, and M was fanning Sri Ramakrishna. Girish to the master, Deben Babu has decided to renounce the world. On account of his illness, Sri Ramakrishna could hardly talk. Touching his lips with his finger, he asked Girish by signs, "Who will feed his wife and children?" Girish, "I don't know." The other devotees remained silent. Girish began talking again while he ate the refreshments. Girish, "Sir, which is wiser, to renounce the world regretfully, or to call on God, leading a householder's life?" Master to M, "Haven't you read the Gita? One truly realizes God if one performs one's worldly duties in a detached spirit, if one lives in the world after realizing that everything is illusory. Those who regretfully renounce the world belong to an inferior class. Do you know what a householder jnani is like? He is like a person living in a glass house. He can see both inside and outside. Again, there was silence in the room. Master to M. The refreshments are hot and good. M. to Girish. Yes, they were bought from Fagu's shop. The place is famous. Master, smiling. Yes, famous. Girish. They are really nice. To the Master. Sir, my mind is now on a very lofty plane. Why does it come down again? Master. That always happens when one leads a worldly life. Sometimes the householder's mind goes up, sometimes it goes down. Sometimes he feels a great up, sometimes it goes down. Sometimes he feels a great deal of devotion, sometimes he feels less. This happens because he lives in the midst of woman and gold. Sometimes a householder contemplates God or chants his name, and sometimes he diverts his mind to woman and gold. He is like an ordinary fly, which now sits on a sweetmeat and now on filth or rotting sores. But it is quite different with sannyasis. They are able to fix their minds on God alone, completely withdrawing them from woman and gold. They can enjoy the bliss of God alone. A man of true renunciation cannot enjoy anything but God. He leaves a place where people talk of worldly things. He listens only to spiritual talk. A man of true renunciation never speaks about anything but God. The bees light only on flowers in order to sip honey. They do not enjoy anything else. Girish went to the small terrace to rinse his hands. Master to M. A man needs God's grace to fix his whole mind on him. Well, Girish has eaten a great many sweets. Tell him not to eat anything else tonight. Girish returned to the room and sat in front of the Master. He was chewing a betel leaf. Master to Girish. Rakal has now understood what is good and what is bad, what is real and what is unreal. He lives with his family, no doubt, but he knows what it means. He has a wife, and a son has been born to him. But he has realized that all these are illusory and impermanent. Rakal will never be attached to the world. He is like a mudfish. The fish lives in the mud, but there is not the slightest trace of mud on its body. Girish, sir, I don't understand all this. You can make everyone pure and unattached if you want to. You can make everyone good, whether he is a worldly man or a sannyasi. The Malaya breeze, I believe, turns all trees into sandalwood. Master. Not unless there is substance in them. There are a few trees, the cottonwood, for instance, which are not turned into sandalwood. Girish, I don't care. Master, but this is the law. Girish, but everything about you is outside the law. The devotees were listening to this conversation in great amazement. Every now and then the fan in M's hand stopped moving. Master, yes, that may be true. When the river of bhakti overflows, the land all around is flooded with water to the depth of a pole. To M, when one develops love of God, One needs nothing else. M. Yes, sir. The conversation turned to the crazy woman who regarded Sri Ramakrishna as her lover. The devotees called her Pagli and tried to keep her away from the master. Footnote on Pagli. It is the Bengali word for crazy woman. Master, to Girish and the others. Pagli cherishes the attitude of Madhur toward me. One day she came to Dakshineswar. Suddenly she burst out crying. Why are you crying? I asked her. And she said, Oh, my head is aching. All laugh. Another day I was eating when she came to Dakshineswar. Suddenly she said, Won't you be kind to me? I had no idea of what was passing through her mind and went on eating. Then she said, Why did you push me away mentally? I asked her, What is your attitude? She said that she regarded me as her sweetheart. Ah, I said, but I look on all women as manifestations of the Divine Mother. All women are mothers to me. Thereupon she said, I don't know all that. Then I called Ramlal and said to him, Ramlal, listen to her. What is she talking about, this pushing away mentally? Even now she keeps up that attitude. Girish, blessed indeed is Pagli. Maybe she is crazy. Maybe she is beaten by the devotees. But she meditates on you 24 hours a day. No matter how she meditates on you, no harm can ever touch her. Sir, how can I ever express my own feelings about it? Just think what I was before and what I have become now by meditating on you. Formerly, I was indolent. Now that indolence has turned into resignation to God. Formerly, I was a sinner. Now I have become humble. What else can I say? The devotees remained silent. Rakal expressed his sympathy for Pagli. He said, We all feel sorry for her. She causes so much annoyance, and for that she suffers too. Niranjan to Rakal, You feel that way for her because you have a wife at home, but we could kill her. Rakal sharply, Such bragging! How dare you utter such words before him, meaning Sri Ramakrishna. Master to Girish, Woman and gold alone constitute the world. Many people regard money as their very lifeblood. But however much you may love money, one day, perhaps, every bit of it will slip through your fingers. They alone make good use of their money who spend it for the worship of God or in the service of holy men and devotees. Their money bears fruit. I cannot eat anything offered by physicians. I mean those who traffic in human suffering. To me, their money is blood and pus. Sri Ramakrishna mentioned two physicians in this connection. Girish, Dr. Rajendra Gupta is a generous person. He doesn't accept a penny from anybody. He gives away money in charity. End of that day. End of today's reading.